Hello and welcome. This is the weekend video here from bullwaves.org. This is Enda here. Welcome to the Elliott wave update for this is not the weekend video. This is Monday. What am I talking about? Okay, you could call this the preview of the week ahead rather than the review of what happened last week. Although it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to go through the dollar FX markets first, and then I'm going to get into stocks and metals and oil and so on and so forth, and you know the drill. Hope you're all well. I hope this week goes great for you, and okay, on with the show. Here we go. This is daily, Eurodollar daily, and you know I've been tracking this long triangle for a long time, and it seems it's going to go on for another long time. The never-ending triangle, but it will end eventually. I'd say we're probably looking at the rest of this year anyway, at least into late summer, before we have another three-wave pattern higher to complete this B-wave triangle. Before then, we head lower for a long time. Okay, anyway, at this point, it looks like we are. We're drawing to a close of wave D, but this is relative in terms of what I mean by drawing to a close, because it looks like that we're going to extend slightly lower to complete wave C of D. Now, I had been looking for this wave C of D to complete earlier, like possibly 2 months ago, but all that we have seemed to have done is just drift correct slightly higher and then spike lower again. So if we are going to complete 5 waves down, it looks like we're not there yet. This larger extended 5-wave pattern lower. Overall, I think we'll probably fall towards the 110 area. And I'll show you that in the hourly chart. But for the moment, I think wave C is still underway. Let's get into the 4-hour chart here. And you can see how I'm labeling wave C. That's wave B top way back in May 21. And off that, we seem to have 5 waves down and an expanded flat wave 2. So 5 waves down, wave 1, ending diagonal within wave 1, expanded flat wave 2. And then we approach this long, drawn-out third wave down within wave C. So if we count it the way that I am counting it right now, it seems it's wave 1, 2, extension wave, or acceleration wave 3. So this sideways pattern that's happened over the last, 2 months, or a month and a half anyway, is a fourth wave within wave 3. So this could be wave 4 of 3. We get another spike lower to complete wave 5 of 3. Then we correct and drop again to sort out wave 4 and 5. Okay, so if that's the case, where is the likely target area? Well, definitely below 111.85 initially to complete wave 3. We'll rally again, probably back up towards this 114 area. That shoulder, that's created like a little shelf of resistance and support. So it'll act as resistance for wave 4, and then we fall again into wave 5. So that's the working thesis at the moment. We shall see how it works out. If this is a 5-wave developing within wave 3, then we should complete this towards then maybe even the end of this week. Definitely next week is looking more likely. Okay, so let's get into the short-term count and let's see how we're faring at this point in time. So if wave 4 is done, then we should see the beginnings of a 5th wave down. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of wave 4. It's an incredibly complex pattern, but it seems to be 5 waves up in A, 3 down in B, and then an ending diagonal wave wave C, which I suppose does account for, let's say, the incessant sideways action, but it didn't make it any easier to track, that's for sure. Okay, so off that 113.86 top, and get rid of you. Off that 113.86 top, we do seem to have a 5-wave pattern lower. That could be wave 1 of 5. So if we have wave 4 complete, we should be moving down in wave 5. So that could be wave 1 of 5. We have a lower high in place at Friday's top and drifting off this morning. So It could be wave 2 complete. I don't know, but it's a reasonable possibility that we have wave 2 in, and we should move lower in wave 3. So it'll definitely wait until the open in the US. We'll see. But if we do break below 112.70 again, that should signal wave 3 of 5 is underway. So that's what I'm looking for. Wave 5 in grey is what I'm looking for this week. Let's see if we get wave 3 of 5. Otherwise, we're back to working on wave 4 again. And it may be some sort of a longer triangle pattern, possibly. We'll see how it goes. Okay, let's go to cable. Now, wave 2 is taking a long time. Again, another long time pattern. But again, I think most likely it's a 3-wave pattern higher, but we do seem to have some sort of an ending diagonal again going on here to complete this wave 2. So it's an A, B, C up with an ending diagonal within wave C to complete wave C. Okay, so what should this what should this portend for the future? Portend. Okay, this week let's get into the hourly chart, and we'll see how wave 2 should complete and make some predictions for wave 3. Wave A, you can see 3 waves up in wave A. That's a standard 3-wave rally, wave A. Pretty tight 3-wave decline, wave B. Fully retraced to begin in wave C. So we've got 3, 3, and 5 extended C wave. So if we are to make any predictions here, well, the nature, the fact that we've extended already in wave C should indicate that we are very close to the end of wave C. So how do we read this unfolding, overlapping pattern here? Well, there's only very few let's say possibilities here. One of them is an ending diagonal, and if that's the case, then we may even already have the top in for that pattern. I would say that if we start breaking below these lows again, so we've got 134.88, 134.28, and then the wave A high will be 133.75. So we've got 3, let's say, little supports that you should look at. Especially if they're broken in an impulsive pattern. So if we get, a nice sharp move down below 133.75, then we're look for a lower high, and then a third wave should accelerate lower. So if wave 2 is coming in right now, then wave 3 should begin this week. Okay, so here is dollar yen. Looking for that 4th wave decline last week. We seem to be pretty much drawing to a close on that now. If that's the case, we should get another rally then in wave 5 of 3. Dollar yen, the pattern dollar yen has let's say gone against what I had previously thought, but I think it's still within the same vein. We should be approaching a top in wave 3, and then we should correct lower in wave 4 over the next while. Looking for 5 waves up in wave 5 to complete this week. Okay, let's see the hourly chart here. We've got a wave 1, expanded flat wave 2, extended pattern in wave 3. So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, little expanded flat wave 4 again, and a vertical rally in 5 waves. Pretty clear 5-wave pattern there in wave 5 of 3. The decline here is a little, it's definitely has the nature of a corrective decline, and it fits a corrective decline, let's say. It fits a corrective decline a little bit better than anything else. So I'm looking at a possible 3-wave decline in A, maybe a triangle B wave, and then we should see a 5-wave pattern in wave C complete, let's say, in the next day or so. We seem to have wave 1, 2, an extension lower in wave 3 of C today. So maybe a small correction and another blip to a new low. We'll complete 5 waves down, wave C done. Previous 4th wave maybe even met, so maybe a touch into that below 115, and then a rally in wave 5. So that's the idea this week. We complete wave 4 and we move higher in wave 5. Let's say if we start breaking below 114 again, then I will have to rule that out as an option. But for the moment, we seem to be moving higher cleanly in 5 waves. Wave 4 coming to a close, and wave 5 should come along this week. So let's see how that goes. Here's the stock market. Here's the Dow. We see a possible triangle in wave 4 here on the 4-hour chart. So we had, let's say, off a very long extended triangle. So we have off the August highs, 3 down in A, 3 up in B, 3 down in C, which, complicates matters really. But 3 down in C, it should be a 3-wave higher in wave D, and then 3 waves down in E. So we actually, the further we got along in this triangle, the more, let's say, aggressive the rallies and the declines became. So strange enough on that one. But off that low, we have options, but the sooner this completes, the better in terms of in my book, anyway. Okay, so the 4-hour count already decelerating again. So we have, a series of lower highs decelerating, and we have the general pattern of, let's say, the internal low within the triangle, general pattern developing higher, momentum developing lower. Okay, let's get into the hourly count. Here you can see the low of the triangle. I should get a label on that. Let's get over here. Sorry. I must have deleted my label. Done. Okay. You can see wave 4. Possible 5-wave move higher in a very small, a series of very small higher lows. But we can read 5 waves up, wave 1. Wave 2, very slight correction, wave 2. And then within the move over the last couple of weeks, we can see 5 waves. So we can see wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into that recent all-time high area. We may have an ABC pattern lower into, let's say, this morning's lows. Again, we seem to be hitting these kind of pivot highs here again. So maybe that'll act as support. So we had a previous shoulder there. Back in November, we had 2 peaks in December, almost within pips of each other. And we are hitting back again on that level again. So it seems to be we are hitting, let's say, a left shoulder of support here. If we do rally, it'll be viewed, in my book anyway, as wave 5 of 5 in green. And that's how I'm viewing it until we see any different. If we start getting a break of the previous lows here within the triangle, so that gives us 34,660 and 33,950, call it. They are pretty important. So those levels need to hold in order for a bullish pattern to complete or to continue, let's say. Apart from that, it's just a wait and see moment in the stock market. Okay, let's move on. Here's gold. Again, I'm looking at a triangle close to completion. There are a few ways of viewing this. Now, here's the daily count. This is the most bearish outlook for the gold market. So that is a extended complex correction. A large 3-wave move down into the March lows of 21 in A, and then a possible triangle. And it's a pretty, you see, the attractive part of this count is it's a pretty clean triangle all the way along from the March lows last year. So we have an A, B, C, D, and E, wave B. And then if this is correct, we move lower sharply again back towards about 1450 in wave C. So all in all, keep this one in your head somewhere. A possible 3 down wave A, triangle B, and we would expect 5 down in wave C. So I'll just keep that one under wraps. That's a possible alternate at the moment. Here is the bullish main count, or a version of the bullish main count. Here we have an ongoing triangle. Again, you can view the whole decline in wave A off the recent all-time highs, recent last year now, but into, let's say, the summer lows as wave A. Then we have 3 waves higher in wave B, possible 3-wave decline in wave C, and then we get 3 waves up in D and 3 waves down in E. So are we very close to the completion of this triangle in wave 4? Possibly. That's it's at least this view has not been ruled out. So let's keep that on check as a possibility. And I would mention that if this count here is correct, this version of the triangle is correct for wave 4, then this could be the week that we see some sort of a reversal pattern building of a low in a triangle. So the hourly count, I suppose, would be a little bit more conservative view of this current, of the 4 hour count. So this is the 4 hour count, pretty close to completion. Hourly count, slightly different version of that. Needs probably one more low in wave C, and then we rally to create higher lows again as the bullish pattern, as the triangle completes and as this bullish pattern begins. So if we do reach a low in wave C of the long-term triangle soon enough, then that will actually be, in terms of a triangle, it'll be quite a good buying opportunity. Now you'll have to wait as, you know, higher lows develop, the triangle completes, and wave 5 accelerates higher out of that triangle. So you're probably talking about another 6 months, or possibly even 6 months, for that to actually take off in terms of prices. But the wave C low would not be a bad buy-in point at all if you were a long-term holder like me. Okay, now enough of that talking. You can see the alternate count that I have marked here is a version of the 4 hour count, so it's the tighter completion to wave D and E. The main count here is that we are completing 5 waves down in wave C of C this week. So go to the daily count. Go to the 4 hour count. It's a possible alternate. Call it that. It's a bullish alternate. I'm still bullish, but you could call my hourly count something like this. So we have 3 waves down. We have 3 waves down in C, 3 waves up in D, 3 waves down in E, and then we rally in wave 5. Now, I'm kind of keeping all chips on the table at the moment because you know me, in general, I'm bullish the metals long term. We still need to clear up a few things in the short term patterns. I do think we will get a significant higher low building in definitely a possible C wave pretty soon. It may even be that we are coming to close this triangle earlier than suggested, but don't count out let's say one last dip to complete wave C, and then we rally. I still suggest that wave C is a good low to begin accumulating, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sorry if I confused you there. I'm going to move on. Okay, so crude oil. Crude oil is showing a particularly interesting short-term pattern this morning. I still think we have, in general, a solid 5-wave pattern lower, which came down towards the previous 4th wave, bottomed out 62. We still have a bearish lower high in place, so we have a solid, left shoulder head, right shoulder, left shoulder head, neckline, right shoulder building before any sort of an acceleration lower begins. So this is a solid head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour count. So we have a significant low there down at the low 60s, which could be broken in a 3rd wave down without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, so what do we look for here? If this is 3 waves up, it sure looks like 3 waves up. Have we closed out the channel? Yes, we have. What should we see next? We should see an impulsive move lower. So let's get into the hourly count, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. Okay. I hate the way MetaTrader bunches up your charts after you close down the previous night. Okay. Let's get you out of there. We have Fibonacci grid. The price right now just broke above this. Let's call it the right shoulder in wave 2 has just broken above the 78.6 retracement, and we seem to have punched lower out of that right now. So the question this week is, do we move lower impulsively? If we do create a small, a smaller version of the head and shoulders here, so a wave 1 down and a wave 2 up, smaller head and shoulders to begin a larger wave 1 again. If this does come our way this week, I think this will be such an interesting pattern to lead the way for risk assets in general. At least 2 degrees of head and shoulder patterns following each other, a nice 3-wave lower high. It's pretty clean right now, and it does suggest we get more declines in crude oil coming our way pretty soon. So I would be watching this closely this week to see if we do create that lower degree head and shoulders around a wave 2 top. So I'm just suggesting that maybe something's coming our way pretty soon. Okay, the S&P. The S&P could even be topped. We moved lower quite nicely last week, last Thursday and Friday. We may be close to 5 waves down off that recent high. I will point out to you on the 4-hour count there that wave 5 in blue pretty much ran up into the wave 1 equals 5 high at 47.88. So where wave 1 and wave 5 reach equality, we ran up into that level and then we fell impulsively. So the question now is, do we see some follow through to the downside? Now, short-term chart would suggest that at least we are moving, we are approaching a low, maybe wave 1, maybe even completed. I think it's a little bit tight just yet to say that wave 2 is complete. So we might be tracing out some sort of an expanded flat. It will depend on what happens today. If we accelerate lower quickly today, if we start pushing towards that 45.30 level, so we've got 46.50. If we see a 100-point drop over the next day or two, that will suggest a wave 3 is underway. We have the previous 4th wave at 45.30. We have the W wave internally there at 44.95. So a couple of significant lows here, and should we start seeing breaks of those lows, then maybe the headline indices will be following their small cap brothers finally. And it is interesting again, then the very upper echelon of the stock market, the Nasdaq 100 is posting quite or tracing out quite an interesting pattern, and I'll get to that in a while. Okay, so is this another top for the S&P? The short-term pattern does seem to suggest it might be. Let's get that underway this week. Let's see if we get further accelerations lower, and I won't complain about that at all. Okay, here we go. This is the count in silver. What I am suggesting that we are going to see a further decline into a wave C of C. So this would, normally people would go WXY. So 3 waves down in what would be a Y wave, but I'm just labeling it wave C just because that's the way I roll. I'm dangerous, eh? So wave B top in, and then you would expect 3 waves lower in wave C. At the moment, it's unclear whether wave B has topped out or we get a further, extended pattern sideways in wave B. That's up to, let's say, that's up to the next couple of days. If we break the wave A low, so 2140 again, we break 2140, it pretty much suggests that wave C is underway, wave C in red. I would look for 5 waves down in that pattern. So let's see in the hourly count what is happening right there in terms of that. A possible 1-2-1-2 and then accelerated lower. We could be looking at 3 levels of 1-2 patterns. If that's the case, then we see lower prices this week. And oops, come back here. We see a continuation of the declines this week. We see an easy break of 2140. We see 5 waves down in wave 3 of 3. And then we will go about, correcting and declining and correcting and declining. Momentum will slow down, and then we'll begin to look for a reversal pattern higher over the next, probably by the end of next week in this case. But this week it looks like we'll break 2140 in terms of the main count. If we don't, if that level holds, I will go with the larger 3-wave pattern, wave B. But just keep an eye out on that. 2140 is pretty significant here, and third decline. Well, in this count at the moment, it's a wave 3 of 3 decline. So it could get pretty hairy to the downside pretty soon. I'm still watching that 2140 level. 2140 is for me the big indicator that we are moving lower, and we'll probably fill out this trend channel all the way down towards 19 again, maybe even a bit lower. Okay, so that's silver done. Let's get on to here's Bitcoin. We did rebound slightly last week. So far it looks like a 3-wave pattern higher. It could be wave 4 of 5. If we go to the 4-hour count, you can go to the daily count. Pretty solid 5-wave pattern lower building. If this is a C-wave decline, we will see, extended and significant declines, possibly back into that shoulder or that support band, that formed all the way through 2019. It could even go as low as at 3,000 again. I know a lot of people have clicked off right now because I've said that. We do see 5 waves down, pretty close to it. If this is a 1-2 pattern, we'll see another bounce, probably back above 50,000 again before falling in a third wave. If we go to the hourly count again, let's see. Looking for a wave 1 down. So we've got 1, 2. That gap lower happened in a third of a third. So wave 3 into wave 3 green here. That was wave 3 of 3, so wave 3 green closed out in early December. Expanded flat correction, wave 4. Extended declines again, which seem to be moving towards the idea of a 5th wave. So wave 5 down. We're probably not far off closing out wave 5 down. I'm kind of looking at that 34,300 level. That the 161% extension of wave 1 does suggest that level as a possible target. I know in general momentum's downside is declining, so we're closer to a bottom than might be suggested otherwise, but we are close to a 5-wave pattern lower. I think we'll get one more dip, probably below 37 anyway, to complete wave 5 of 1, and then we would look for a wave 2 to begin off that low. Okay, I know we're coming close to a low here in Bitcoin. Probably see some sort of a rally. We have a previous 4th wave up around 50,000 again, so if this is a 2nd wave rally, we'll probably see that 50,000, 51,000 level again once wave 5 is complete. Okay, FTSE, not a whole lot to suggest on the FTSE. Nothing major developing on FTSE to suggest that we are ahead of the curve or anything. Maybe a possible 1-2 pattern lower. We'll see how that goes this week. Go to the Nasdaq now. You can see the Nasdaq, while we did have a significant, let's say, Christmas rally, it seemed to be more in line with a corrective C wave rather than a rally to a new high. We never made a new high in the Nasdaq, and we have fallen significantly and broken below the previous lows this morning. So the futures are are after breaking to a new low, even since I looked at my charts a couple of hours ago. So a possible, let's say, topping pattern, sell signal in crude oil, possible sell signal developing in the Nasdaq as well, the Nasdaq 100. There is one little caveat to this. So I'm not a major fan of a leading wedge, but wave 1 down does suggest a leading wedge. We didn't break to a new high. That expanded flag pattern is perfect in wave 2, and we seem to have a 5-wave pattern lower again. So things are getting very interesting in the Nasdaq, and they may suggest something much bigger for the general stock market itself. Now, that, I think, is that. We got through it quite quickly. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm sure this is where everybody clicks off, and nobody listens to the end of this, but this is what I always do. I always give you the bad news in the markets and the good news in terms of the gospel. What's the gospel? This is the gospel. It doesn't matter who you are or what religion you are. Your Savior came, the Son of God, came in the form of Jesus Christ and died for your sins so you don't have to die for them. And that's the gospel. All you need to do is accept and believe. I would suggest that maybe it might be an interesting time in your life to look to that saving work that happened on the cross. And if you accept Jesus, I'll see you in heaven. You know, if you have any questions, hey, give me an email. We'll chat. Apart from that, have a good week. This is Monday morning. This has been me, and I'll see you probably on Friday. Didn't get to a Friday video last week. You know, God bless you. Have a good weekend, or a good week, and hey, check out the website, bullwebs.org. I will see you there tonight. All members, I'll see you on the website tonight. God bless. Bye-bye.